Ambassador Zekthara adjusted her crystalline respiratory apparatus as she reviewed the preliminary report on the newest species to petition for Galactic Council membership. The documents displayed across her neural interface painted a picture of a remarkably backward civilization. Humans, she mused aloud, her four eyes scanning the data streams. Carbon-based, short-lived, still burning fossil fuels on their homeworld. How quaint. The Valaxian ambassador beside her chittered in amusement, his exoskeleton gleaming under the station's artificial light. They claim to have developed faster-than-light travel, but our scouts report their vessels are crude metal constructs. No biointegration, no quantum consciousness matrices. Primitive doesn't begin to describe it. Zekthara nodded, her species having achieved interstellar travel 3 millennia before these humans had even discovered agriculture. The Terran delegation was scheduled to arrive within the cycle, and she expected the usual display of inferior technology that new species brought, assuming they could even navigate the gravitational maze surrounding Nexus Station without assistance. Alert, the station's AI announced in the melodic tones of the symphonic collective. Unknown vessels approaching on Vector 77 Mark IV. Configuration: unusual. Through the massive viewport, Zekthara observed 3 ships emerging from the darkness of space. They were indeed crude-looking, angular, utilitarian, lacking the organic curves of advanced civilizations. No flowing bioluminescent hulls, no reality-warping architectures. Just metal and ceramic, like something a pre-spaceflight species might imagine. Requesting docking permission, came a transmission in heavily accented galactic standard. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran vessel Endurance. Granted, Zekthara responded, suppressing a sigh. Another tedious first contact ceremony awaited. Bay 94. Please follow standard approach vectors. What happened next would be discussed in xenological circles for generations. Instead of following the designated flight path, the lead human vessel simply stopped. The ship hung motionless in space for precisely 3 seconds. Then, without any visible engine flare or gravitational distortion, it folded. Space itself creased around the vessel like origami made of reality. The ship compressed into an impossible geometric configuration, its 3-dimensional form becoming something that hurt to perceive directly. For one terrible instant, Zekthara's mind tried to process the mathematics of what she was witnessing, and failed catastrophically. The ship reappeared inside the docking bay. Not flew into the bay. Not teleported. Simply existed there, as if it had always been there, while simultaneously never having moved from its position in open space until the moment it was elsewhere. Docking complete. Captain Chen's voice crackled through the comm. Sorry about that. Our navigation AI is still learning your traffic patterns. The docking bay's sensors, designed to track vessels moving at significant fractions of light speed, registered nothing. No energy signature, no spatial displacement, no quantum fluctuations. The ship had simply edited its location in the universe. Zekthara's primary hearts stopped beating. Impossible, breathed the Valaxian ambassador. His species had spent 10,000 years perfecting their biotechnological approach to spacefolding, requiring massive organic computing matrices and months of preparation for each jump. Our most advanced theorists believe controlled spatial folding requires a cup of coffee and basic calculus, apparently, Captain Chen said as she emerged from her ship. She was smaller than expected, unremarkable except for the casual way she carried herself, like someone who had just performed a miracle and considered it routine. She was followed by her crew, a mix of various human subspecies that shouldn't have been able to cooperate, let alone achieve breakthrough physics. Their equipment was laughably primitive by galactic standards. Their ship's computer ran on silicon chips instead of quantum consciousness. Their faster-than-light communication relied on quantum entanglement rather than proper psionic networks. We're honored to be here, Captain Chen continued, extending her hand in the bizarre human greeting ritual. Though I have to say, your approach vectors are unnecessarily complicated. We've developed some shortcuts. Shortcuts, Zekthara repeated, weakly. Well, space is mostly empty, right? And if you can convince it that 2 points are actually the same point, you don't have to worry about the distance between them. Chen shrugged. It's just a matter of perspective. The concept was so fundamentally simple that it circled back to incomprehensible. Every major civilization had approached faster than light travel as a problem of energy, of force, of bending, space through brute application of power. The humans had simply asked space nicely to reconfigure itself. Your technology, the Valaxian managed. How long did it take your species to develop? Oh, about a weekend, Chen replied cheerfully. Our AI figured it out while we were debugging the coffee machine. Turned out the same principles applied to both problems. Over the following hours, as the formal proceedings began, it became clear that humanity's approach to advanced physics was unlike anything in the galaxy. While other species had spent millennia developing elaborate theoretical frameworks, humans had simply identified the underlying patterns and applied them with characteristic directness. They didn't understand why space folding worked. They just knew that it did, and that was sufficient. Their ships didn't require massive power cores or exotic matter. They ran on the same fusion reactors that powered their cities, with the spatial manipulation handled by algorithms that could fit on a personal computing device. When asked about their breakthrough, the human delegation exchanged glances. We're not actually sure it's supposed to work, admitted Dr. Martinez, their chief scientist. The math says it's impossible, but we tried it anyway, and here we are. You attempted something your own calculations said was impossible? Zekthara asked. Well, yes, that's generally how we figure things out. As the session concluded and humanity was unanimously welcomed into the Galactic Council, Zekthara reflected on the day's events. Perhaps there was something to be said. For the human approach, less elegant than proper scientific methods certainly, but undeniably effective. After all, they had taken one look at the fundamental structure of space-time and decided it needed improvement. And somehow, impossibly, they had been right.